and welcome to Divine Soul Journey. I'm your guide, Dianne, and I want to say Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Namaste, Sitaram, Aloha. Greetings and blessings to each and every one of you. And I just want to say, why divine? Because we connect with the divine. Why the soul? Because we all have souls, and we work on our soul for the enlightenment, our journey. And there, hence, the journey that everyone wants to be on their journey to find their life's purpose. So I want you to sit back and enjoy the show, because today we have a very special guest with my co-host, Porsche and our guest from Hawaii, Diane Fujio. Enjoy.
I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony.
I want to say thank you all so much for hanging around with us, joining us, relaxing. Put your feet up, sit up straight, stand up, whatever you like to do and feel comfortable. Because we have an exciting show for you, as I mentioned. I have my wonderful co-host, Porsche Ng, and amazing, a woman of wisdom. We just had a conversation with her, and I was blown away. And I want to say thank you so much, Diane Fujio, for being here with us. So, Porsche, please, give us a brief introduction to Diane.
I'm so grateful that Diane is here with us and to be here with Dianne, and just this amazing platform to really share our heart and soul with all of you on the Divine Soul Journey. And so today I have one of my most favorite people in the whole world. She's from Hawaii, like Dianne said, and she comes with a heart full of aloha. Aloha means deep love, and Ha is the breath of life. So on our last show, we talked about the breath and how the breath is love. Well, Diane comes with that love for all of you, and she'll share that love with you as she spreads love, peace, harmony all around the world. She is the coordinator for the Love, Peace, Harmony Foundation and Movement, and she has amazing humanitarian projects all over the world. She herself has a background in many different things, and she has practical spiritual wisdom to share with you on so many different levels, so many different areas, but one of them that really is close to her heart and soul is on mental wellness, and also about truly sharing this love and light with people who are struggling in the world. And she treats everyone like family. In Hawaii, we call it ohana, it means family. And that's where, on Lilo and Stitch, if you watch that Disney movie, it says, no one is ever left behind. And that's what I feel every time I'm around her. Whether I'm in the center, she serves a lot in the center and shares her love and the Love, Peace, Harmony song with people. but she also just shares her immense wisdom and experience from her family overcoming a lot of the mental challenges, into both of her sons having this amazing life now and mental wellness, and her own struggles to overcome the associated, stress and things that come along with that. And so she just has immense wealth to share with you in terms of her experience and knowledge about health and about the way to be with people, to share that love and that aloha, and to really bring together people around the world and make them feel like we are truly one big love, peace, harmony world family. And I'm so grateful to have her here with us and have her share her greatest love and her amazing wisdom. And I know you will learn so much. So like Dianne always says, open your heart and soul. Keep an open mind and an open heart, and you will truly learn all of these wonderful, inspiring ways to transform your own life. It's a way to transform what you're going through, but also how to support others, in our lives as we look around us. It's really, really a beautiful thing. So, welcome, Diane.
Thank you, Porsche. Thank you, Dianne, for your warm aloha. Aloha is, as you heard Porsche say, love. I feel the love. And to give this wonderful space to people so that they can share their experiences is a huge service. And I want to thank both of you for taking this on and doing this show. There are many heroes and heroines out there in the world that are unsung. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows about their struggles and what's going on with them. And that's the person or people I feel most closely aligned to. So that's why I want to go on more public forums like this Divine Soul Journey radio show and talk about things that sometimes people don't want to hear, that make them feel comfortable, that may trigger some resistance. But that's the perfect topic then. If you feel uncomfortable, if you feel resistance, if you feel something, you want to find out about it. You want to know more. And mental health has a lot of stigma associated with it. 30 years ago, when I was first faced with mental illness for my loved ones, we didn't dare talk about it publicly. You didn't even want to talk to your own members of your family to tell them, because they would say things, think things, or even do things. I have been isolated and cut off by members of my extended family because they were afraid. And mental illness is not contagious, but they were afraid and didn't want to be associated. So I'm so grateful. It's 2020, and we're light years away from that place. There's a light that is shining on people with mental illness, because many of the celebrities, the social media influencers, have come out and publicly spoke about mental illness and their condition. We watch on TV many stories that talk about this condition. And what I want people to know is that the people who deal with this on a day-to-day, they're the ones that should be here talking to you. I'm a supporter.
That's correct.
And I was always reminded by my family members, that is not your disease, Mom. You can't tell us what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I honor the people, first of all.
I totally agree, Diane. It's because I always say no one can tell the story better than the person and the individual themselves. And when they speak of it, it's healing. It's healing. And when they get healed, we talk about the magical solution that we just talked about, and they find that magical solution, it's not their duty, but we hope that they will share, because there's somebody else there outside, within within their family and outside their family, who also have this problem. And I want people to know they're not broken to be fixed. And you know that with your sons, that they weren't broken, and you didn't treat them like they were broken.
I have to say, in the beginning, I was very ignorant and didn't know how to cope or to help them. It was through the course of making a lot of mistakes. Like I would tell my son, who was severely depressed, just think happy thoughts, snap out of it, do positive things. And I realized by saying that made him feel worse, because if he could, he would. He couldn't, He couldn't get out of bed. He couldn't relate to his wife that he loved so much, feel the emotion, for her. He couldn't do any of those things. And it wasn't just a matter of, okay, have a happy attitude,
That's right.
Because what they were going through were physical changes. And they could not just simply change them back. So I realized they needed help, because the person with the mental illness is the brain, is the issue, the organ, the brain, right? And if you're sick in the brain, then how do you use the brain to heal the brain? So I thought, this doesn't make sense. I have to find something else for them. We did the best, for them. We got them the best psychiatrist in the state of Hawaii. I petitioned that psychiatrist, who was the head of the University of Hawaii Psychiatric Department, and asked him, begged him to take my loved one's case. And he didn't want to take any new patients, but he did. And then I got the best therapist for each one, that aligned to their personality and that they could trust and feel comfortable with. I joined the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill, which is a national grassroots nonprofit organization that supports those with mental illness. And I worked to help them. I volunteered, I became a board member, and I created lots of programs that would help consumers and families. And consumer is the name that those with the illness chose.
Mm-hmm.
And I did as much as I could. I learned as much as I could. I learned about medication, psychotropic drugs. I was almost like I knew the names of all these drugs like a pharmacy would. I did everything I could to help them. I started 2 support groups, one for the family members, one for the consumers and family members, and did whatever I could. I created a walk to take the stigma off of mental illness and the shame of it, and said, look, this is who we are, accept us who we are. But today, the consumers or those with the mental illness are so out now, out in the open, and it's wonderful. Because people like Lady Gaga, they have been speaking about their severe depression and their medication and their treatment. And they're also honoring those who do this. And really celebrating the people.
That's great to know
with
that,
their courage.
And that's true. And it's great to know that, these people who have a voice and visibility, and people look up to each other, they have that platform where people would listen to them, like Lady Gaga and so forth. So we have to applaud them and applaud the parents of the, I'm not going to say lost souls, because they were not lost, but I don't know if there's any I don't want to label or brand them at all. Porsche, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't believe. I mean, I think at times that we do get lost and confused, and it's a mental illness. But I see truly everyone is love, is the greatest love. And all of that other mental illness, emotional illness, all of these things, thoughts, feelings, negativity, is actually on top of hiding that greatest love within us. And so once we can remove the blockages from that, then that light can truly shine. I think I like what you used to always tell me, Dianne. We're always a work in progress. And we can, here's a quote I love. I adopted it because, I'm a perfectionist like me sometimes. So we can be a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time. And that's the truth of it, And so what Dianne is really talking about and sharing from her heart and soul, this is something that rocked her whole world and her son. And you can tell she took an active role and she didn't sit down, She really took action on it. And because of that, she found a solution. So I want to hear about the transformation part because, there's 1,000 different ways up to heaven and up the mountain. But this really works. So I'm completely open, with my degrees in public health and health education and health promotion. We're always looking for a solution and we're always looking for prevention as one of the medicines. And so I know everyone out there now, a lot of people are looking to treat this, in all these different ways and what works to find a solution, to that. So yeah, let's hear about this. I'm excited. So Dianne, let us know what helped you.
But Porsche, before you Dianne speak, something that most people don't know is my mother. She suffered with nervous breakdowns, and that's a whole other conversation. Because she was very sensitive to a lot of things. So when I was born, a lot of her toxic came out. When I talk about my body, I talk about physical scars, and yes, I do have them because people don't realize it. There's someone out there, a baby or so forth, the fetus can absorb all of this, and I was the one. I was the one that came 5 years after when she had it with my other sister. So then when I said to you, and I have it in my immediate, and I have it in my kids as well. Pretty much, I didn't realize this was a conversation I was going to have today like this. But the fact is, it's not easy. And I we talk about the transformation. But before we do that, I want to find out about you and your husband. Because it really had to be, we talk about those who's affected, but we don't talk about the caretakers. We don't talk about that because you had to be, your world must have been turned upside down. I mean, you told us all the things you did, but how did you feel? Like, what was going through your mind? Like, you had to be in a mental state yourself. And your husband, of course.
Well, when you first find out about the diagnosis, I found out about my younger son first, and he was still, very young, like 13. So you didn't want to diagnose him and label him if he was just going through, that change.
Puberty.
His body,
puberty. Let's say the word puberty.
Yeah.
Very influential age, by the way, because discovering their bodies and don't know what's going on. I went through all of this with my daughter. I'm telling you, I know exactly what you're saying.
And you don't know if it's just regular preteen angst or whatever it is, so you never want to label. But there are patterns that show up that are not normal, according to the counselor or to the doctor, the family doctor, and finally he had a full-on breakdown where he had broken up with a loved one and he changed. He got really dark and totally not himself. And from that point on, I never had my son back. He was a loving, kind, caring person, And the teachers were amazed because he's very smart. He read books at 3 years old, and very, very smart and intelligent. and very caring, because there was one little girl in his first grade that had childhood arthritis, and he used to carry her books and open her, put away her chair and do all kinds of things for her. And he became this dark, angry, violent person who I didn't know who he was. But the worst is, as a parent, you feel guilty. What did I do? Was I too strict? Was I, what did I do to cause this? And really, it's not you as a parent. Yes, it's nature, genetic code. My family members didn't have a chance because on both sides of our family, we had mental illness. I didn't know it at that time. Nobody ever spoke about the strange cousin who we never saw, or the auntie who was obsessive compulsive and kept everything in our house packed full of stuff. We didn't even know about those people because it wasn't talked about. And then the other part is nurture, what you do, what you say, how you treat them, the way you were raised, So you blame yourself. My husband and I went through a lot of guilt sessions, and when they were paranoid, it was even worse because they accused us of things we never did, would never even think of doing. But it was the illness that was creating that for them. And when I stumbled upon my spiritual teacher, Dr. and Master Zhi Gang Sha, all I was looking for was that magic solution, as we talked about. Just wave them on and cure them, because the reality of the rest of my life was too bleak. Like I said, I started 2 support groups, and all we would do would be sit around in that group talking about 2 things: how to prevent suicide, and number 2, and it's not just their suicide, our suicide, because we were at our wit's end. And the second thing is, number 2, who's going to take care of them? Because they'll be dependent on us the rest of their lives. And we had 80-year-old parents coming to the meeting, so afraid what's going to happen, to their loved one. There was no hope. There was no solution. The medical treatment, the medical solution worked. My teacher, Dr. and Master Zhi Gang Sha, and I'll call him Master Sha because I am a student of his, and I have dedicated my life to learning what he has to teach us. But his solution is always, he honors Western medicine. He's a doctor. He's a medical trained doctor himself. He would never tell you not to take your medication or go to the doctor. He always says, you break your leg, you call 911. You don't do a forgiveness practice and chant love, peace, and harmony. You go when it's needed. So the medical treatment, the psychiatric treatment, the therapies, the counseling, it all works. The support groups work. It's never one thing. It's a combination of things. And you have to keep trying and never give up hope. Keep trying and seeing what works, what doesn't work, and, find the perfect balance for you. But what happened to me is I discovered this teacher. Like I said, he's a doctor. He's a traditional Chinese specialist. He has practiced in many ancient modalities. And right now I'm learning from him calligraphy, which is, he's a grand master in calligraphy, because calligraphy is an art form that carries a high frequency and vibration of the source. The source is the way of all life. And through this meditative state, when my teacher connects to the source and writes the message, the calligraphy, it holds that frequency and vibration. And if you know anything about megahertz, there's books written on megahertz and vibration, you know that those who are very spiritual, high-level beings, pure beings, like the Dalai Lama, and the Buddha, Mother Teresa, they have high megahertz, and that's what the calligraphy can hold. And when you trace or when you write these calligraphies yourself, you then receive those messages. So my teacher said one of the things to change someone who has a low vibration message, hate, anger, frustration, irritation, violence, depression, anxiety, all you do is change the base message. And then everything else aligns. Because you heal the soul first, then the mind, the essential part that's so important in mental illness and mental wellness will change, and the body follows. So I found this teacher. I said, what do I have to lose? I have everything to gain. You know, we had gotten to a place and finding the best medical protocol that we could. And I didn't want to rock the boat because any little change, you know, sometimes like my son would venture out to the store when he felt better, and then he'd get so paranoid, so angry at the people staring at him. They're looking at me and I can't take it. And why did that lady ask me where the orange juice is? And, you know, just go off on a tangent and spiral down. We walked a fine line. We walked on eggshells all the time, my husband and I. And it was really, really difficult. Really difficult. Our lives were, to put it mildly, a living hell. And I don't hold it against my sons at all. In fact, I would have done anything so that my sons could return to the precious beings that they are. And so then my teacher said, let's change the message. Well, I said, okay, let's just give it a try. The first workshop I went to was at the convention center, and our teacher stood up and he said, I'm going to teach you soul language. Every soul has its own language. Human souls, animal souls, the ocean, the river, the mountains. And that spoke to me because in Hawaii, we believe that. The Hawaiians believe everything has mana, spirit. So I knew, okay, that sounds like something I would resonate with. Then he said, let me give you an example. And he started to say these sounds from his mouth. And I just burst into tears because those were similar sounds that my mother made. She was in a care home, and my mother was a very inspiring woman. She opened Japan Airlines in the Hawaiian Islands. She was a career woman. She was a very well-respected community member. She was in all kinds of high society clubs, and she was a leader. But she started to have dementia, and she lost her memory. She had memory lapse, and then it became worse. Then she went into full Alzheimer's, and she couldn't speak. But one of the things she would do was babble. She'd say, da, 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 da. And I realized that's the same thing that my teacher is doing. And he said, when your soul cannot speak and no one can, or it speaks and you can't hear it, you're not listening to the highest message. And that's what it was with my son. Because their brain did not function in the normal way, the limbic system in their brain, their emotions were either too much or too little. And they were opposite polars. So it caused that dysfunction. So I started to apply my teacher's practices. They were simple, they were powerful, and they made me feel better. because I did the practices every day. Every day. Like the forgiveness practice, I used the mantras. Mantras are gathering tools, high-level vibrational tools that use sound to change different messages within the body and raise the frequency and vibration. I use mantras every day. I did practices every day, and I called their soul. I said, "Dear so-and-so, please come. Dear so-and-so, please come. Practice
Diane,
with me.
I'm
Chant
just going
with me."
to interrupt you there for a moment. Why, since we're talking about the forgiveness practice, why don't we do a short forgiveness practice instead of telling them, let's just do one? I know you have to leave soon, and let's just do a forgiveness practice as we're talking about it. This would be the perfect time to do it.
Okay. A forgiveness practice is a high vibrational message. So let's do that. So everyone, if you're at home, sit up straight, back away from the chair, feet flat on Mother Earth. Imagine a string pulling your head up, up, up to heaven so that you're sitting very erect. This is so the message can flow to you. If you're lying down, do everything silently. Close your eyes. Touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. It activates the meridians, the energy pathways within your body. Relax. Open your heart. Connect to your soul. Transform your mind. And be in touch with your body. And you can say this silently or out loud. Dear all the souls that I and my ancestors have ever harmed or hurt, I deeply and sincerely apologize. I'm very sorry. Dear all the souls that ever harmed or hurt me and my loved ones in all lifetimes, I forgive you unconditionally. Please accept my forgiveness. It is given without any expectation. Dear my own beloved soul, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you. I forgive myself unconditionally. I may not have had the wisdom, the understanding, the positive thought, or self-love, but I do now, and I forgive myself. Dear the souls that cannot forgive or accept forgiveness, we love you. We understand that it's difficult, and we will continue to ask for your forgiveness with the hope that someday you will let go and forgive so that you don't hurt anymore. You don't feel the pain. So please open your heart and your soul to forgiveness. So we ask you to chant with us this simple mantra. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Love, peace, and harmony. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Love, peace, and harmony. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Love, peace, and harmony. Now you chant it, and I'll be silent, and I'll listen to your soul. And do you still have resistance? Do you feel any knot about forgiving? Then let's continue chant together. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. Perfect, perfect, perfect. In Hawaii, we say pono. Pono means righteous, good. So it is pono, perfect. And this is something you can do every day. I remember when I first learned the forgiveness, I spent 1 year calling in people's incidents by name. There were a lot. I can remember all the way back to being 7 years old and doing naughty things. I asked for forgiveness and gave forgiveness for a year. Then I realized it was taking too long. So now I just say all those that I've ever harmed or hurt. And this should be part of the daily routine. I ask for forgiveness of my sons because even though I logically understood it and all the materials that you read about mental illness, I still felt responsible. And so I would ask for forgiveness and give them forgiveness because there was resentment hidden, buried, even in my unconditional support of them. And you know what? The relationship changed. No matter how ill they were, there was noticeable difference in how they related to me and I to them.
That's so beautiful, Diane. So beautiful. And thank you for sharing that with us. I know Porsche wanted to hear about the transformation and how your boys are doing now and how the family is doing. And not only the family, the extended family. Porsche, please, address this.
Yeah, I just think it's amazing. I'm just intrigued I've heard this story, but not in this depth. And also, I'm so glad that Dianne asked the question about how is it from Diane's perspective as a mother and watching her two sons go through this. You know, it's much different. Like I'm just recalling, I have an uncle who just passed away recently in the last few weeks, and he had post-traumatic, disorder as well, and some mental illness going on. And when it hits home, it hits hard, And so listening to her, I got another angle on why I love her so much. And I realized what she has been through has given her so much strength and so much compassion that her heart is truly open. So I'm just grateful to hear more of her story. But yeah, definitely, I know she has to go, so we might have to have her on another show.
Absolutely.
But Dianne, do you want to give the final word? I know you have to go to a lucky determining session. But go ahead, final word. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I would say to anyone who is dealing with mental illness, whether it's your loved ones, yourself, or someone you know, or even a coworker which is merely a stranger to you, just listen with your heart. Listen with your heart, not through judgment, criticism, and what you expect to be the right way. There is no right way. There's only a better way. And be open to the different possibilities, because when we use the medical field, which is brilliant, and the spiritual field together as one, that's the Tao. That is what we call yin and yang balance. And all of nature teaches us that. When we're out of balance, things get distorted. When we're in balance, everything is aligned and we are one. So open your heart to those that are suffering and offer to them the possibility that we can change. I started that message for my sons. They were not involved physically, only at the soul level, and it changed their lives. Today, now, they understand what mom is doing. She's not just a crazy lady just, doing her magic. They come and they say, Mom, I need a blessing. I'm feeling off today. Okay. And I help them by changing the message. The First Nation has a beautiful way of saying it. Their totem animal is an eagle. And when the eagle is bothered by the lower animals, like the crows taking their food and the ravens bothering their nest, they fly higher because the eagles can fly at a very high altitude and they rise above it. Anyone who's dealing with this mental health issue can rise above it. Always take the higher message and make it your own, because each of us can be someone who can live the greatest, joyous, most divine soul journey they can ever live. So that's what I say before I leave.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you so much.
But I want to say,
Love
Diane.
you. Thank you, Dianne.
Diane, before you go, you said something there, and I'm going to hold you to it. And who doesn't want to hear from Diane again, for goodness sake? You said, listen with your heart and open your heart. Those are words, but it's something that most people, including myself, have a difficulty understanding or knowing how to do it. So I would like you to come back and, in different series, of course, when you have the time, and teach us how to do that. I know it sounds like something simple, but a lot of people say, I don't know how to do that. How do I feel my heart opening? And how do I listen with my heart? It's something simple, but it can be something words are words.
I would
but until
love
you put
to do that.
So that's the next show we'll do. Porsche, you know how to book her.
Absolutely. Thank you.
But I want to thank you so much. Like I said, we will talk definitely, Diane, because everything we talked about, like I was speechless. I didn't want to say anything in the whole process because, it's a conversation that this is why we're doing what we're doing. How do we connect on the divine side of it, the soul, the journey? How do we put those components together? It's a marriage. I always say about the word marriage, and Porsche laughs at me. But the fact is, how do we make the connections? And it's by speaking to people like yourself. So I want to say thank you so much out of my heart. Thank you for, being there. And I know you will. And you will be hearing from me, sure. And I know Porsche loves you tremendously. So, Porsche, I'll leave you with the last few words with her.
Yes, I know Diane has to go, so all I would say is this, and it's simple words, but it means, has a deep, profound message. Mahalo and aloha. Love you so much, Diane.
Thank you.
Mahalo
and I love you
and
both.
aloha.
Like I said at the beginning, you are doing such a huge service for everyone by having this show. Thank you both. Love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Keep
Bye.
sending your blessings. Believe me, we need it.
Okay.
We need all your
I
blessings
will.
and love, We need it. We need it. We definitely do need it. But thank you again so much for being with us. I appreciate it tremendously.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Love you. Aloha.
Bye.
Porsche. Whoa. How do you recover from
I
that,
told
Porsche?
you, she's amazing.
How do you?
I told you, she's utterly amazing, and I've listened to her, but I haven't listened to this type of story and this on this angle and this depth from her heart. And when I was listening to it today, it really touched my heart on a deeper level, and also listening to. You can close your eyes, like, because we have TV and we have film background, right? I literally could close my eyes and I could see her going through all of this because she described it so well, so beautifully, so poignantly. I could see her in these meetings with all of these parents around. And when, you know what hit home when she said it wasn't talking about suicide watch for them, it was for us. Because we were at our wits' end. That, literally blew me away. I don't know about you. How did you feel when you heard that?
Like I said, I have a lot surrounding me in regards to this topic. Very close. Like I said, my parents, not my parents, my mom. Well, it affected everybody. A few other people in the family, without saying who they are and so forth. There's a lot that hits home here for me. And maybe one day I'll tell you that story privately. But the fact is, and we should talk about that privately because that's a lot to do with my healing, their healing, and everybody else's healing. Whether they're here still right now or if they've passed on, they need the healing. Only we get forgiveness and so forth. But they didn't know. They did not know. And a lot of people, I'm kind of a bit open about some of the things we went through because, like I said, it's my healing. Right, so I'm not here to take the spotlight from anyone and say such. It's again when we look in the mirror, like I said earlier, they're talking to us for a reason. There's a reason why. Didn't know this show was going to go in this direction whatsoever, but here it is. There's a few people who will listen to the show is in that position right now, and I know this for a fact because I've been told that. So her message, her wisdom, and having it on and again, saying how to listen with your heart. There's a song, "Listen to Your Heart," that we played before. But the fact is, how do we listen with our heart, and how do we open our hearts to people? Because it's not an easy thing, Portia. You know this. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody could say, "You can do this, you can do this, you can go ride a bike," but if you don't have the confidence, or even though the know-how or a little bit of training on how to do it and do it right. And sometimes I question if I do things right. But here at the end of the day, I'm saying, well, you know what? My I told you my most important ancestor right now is Saint Teresa of Avila, and people still pity and say, who is she? But sometimes I don't really traditionally, or I should say religiously, do what I'm supposed to do with her. But then I just stood in my bed and said, I didn't talk to you today. But you know what? This is this. And it's just a few words. But because I'm not doing it, I know they still listen. They're not going to punish me. They're not going to say, you know what? Because they know they're here with me all the time to see, yes, the ups and downs. So I know with yourself as well, we're not any different. We're not any different. And something I have to bring up, which is very intriguing to me about on a positive note, I'd like to know, is the fact when we had talked about us, both of us, we talked about how we connected, and that's I was talking to my girlfriend last night, and I told her what you said about the Buddha and her and myself, and of course you and I have been known each other together for about 30 times in lifetimes, which fascinated me because I don't know what the lifetimes are, but it's sometimes there's so much to learn and to understand that I'm here to learn from each and every one of you. And I know people come into my space for a reason. And you're one of them. And we were chosen for this. And you're blowing this away. And I can't thank you enough. Just these meetings, I don't know how I can keep up with you. But I know I know the Divine has picked the right person for the right project and all the right people. Just seeing their faces today was, so I felt so good because I know there's other people who want to and how we can help them. So, I can't thank you enough. I just wanted to bring a little lightheartedness to all of this because I don't want to end like this. So,
oh yeah, definitely. I was going to end positive note, But here's the thing: it was her whole journey. She'll come back and say part 2 and maybe even part 3. What's going on with her like right now? It's about peace happening. I know the story has a happy ending. She's doing amazing. Her sons are healed, they're transformed, and she's spreading love, peace, harmony all around the world. And what she went through, this is what Heaven was telling me, literally when she was talking at the very end. What she went through helped her to become who she is now. And I know we hear it a lot, but I got it. I really got it at a deep level when she was describing all these things. And it's the same with us. All the things that we've gone through in our life truly are helping us to become stronger and who we are right now. And our ability to help and serve the world is multiplied. And look at you. Like, Dianne, like let's celebrate a little bit. I mean, let's think of this,
Of
I
course.
know in Trinidad they do, like, amazing, like, dance celebrations, and they have reggae and all this kind of music. But I was in awe. Let me just say this. When you told me, like, you have this radio show and it's your whole love, it's the love of your life, and you have, all these other projects, TV and forums and business magazines, all of these wonderful things. And I'm just like, what type of woman is she to have all of these amazing projects and to be able to hold this down and to be able to have this platform for all the people? You were prepared. You were preparing your whole life for these moments. And I'm just very grateful. I know you tell me, say thank you. I mean, don't thank you so much. But you know what? I'm grateful. I cannot stop saying it.
Well, thank you.
I
Well,
am.
hopefully we'll finally see some of the projects. We've done a lot of work with it, and some of the things, it didn't quite happen. Most of them didn't happen, but we've done the legwork. We're
Yes.
not going to stop there because it has to be the right
Yes,
people,
yes.
working with the right people. And I believe my family, meaning your family, is now my family, of course. And we can do this together. And like I said, we did a lot of the legwork already, and a lot of them have experience in all these areas. So I can't thank you enough for wanting to be part of this. And it's like, it's like kids in a candy store. Just go and have fun. And of course, this is all about fun. It is about
Yes.
fun, definitely. But I want you to as we have a few moments, I want you to, take the floor and, pretty much give us some words of wisdom, something you learned, something about you, anything you want to say. This is your moment, Portia.
Oh, I'm very blessed and grateful for this opportunity. So I would say, with all the things that happened today, Dianne and I were in a couple meetings. She's talking about a team meeting even before that, my family, her family. I already knew. I knew when I first met her. It took me a few moments, but it wasn't long when I knew she was a soul sister, and I knew we were from the same tribe. And truly, we are all one. But I want to say, when you find someone, I was told this, when you find someone that is living their dream, their Tao dream, their heaven's dream, their oneness dream, your greatest love dream, whatever you want to call it, you really need to take a look at this and see how to help and support them, because their dream is your dream. Diane's dream is our dream. And you're going to find the people that come on this show, they're going to resonate with you. There's no coincidence why you're listening right now to this show and why you're here. It's to learn, to grow, to share your love, your aloha, your mahalo, your gratitude, your forgiveness with all of us. And together we're co-creating this. And whatever you're going through right now, so I'm speaking to the people that I'm getting some guidance that are going through things like this and feel like they don't have hope. There is always hope. There is always the light. And it's not so much even at the end of the tunnel. When you discover truly who you are, that light is within you. I was talking to one of my first teachers, and he's going to be on the show too at the end of the week. And he said, Portia, because I was thanking him, I said, thank you for teaching me about, Master Sha, Dr. Master Sha. He said, Portia, it's not me. You just felt the light that Master Sha had given to me, and I was your lighthouse, you know? And now look where you are now, and you're helping others. That's what gives me the greatest gratitude, to watch people really shine. You, and he named a few others, and he said, I don't really feel like a gardener. I kind of just feel like Johnny Appleseed. And I said, that's right. That's what we're all doing here. You with us, we with you. We're all planting seeds of love, and because they're not flourishing right now, or it's not the season or the time, they will flourish. It's within the seed to become the oak tree. That's the blueprint that is inherent in that seed. That heaven has given us every single thing that we need to flourish, to become successful, happy, and healthy. And he's given us people around us to support us and to nourish us, and to be that water, and to be that light, and to be that love. And when we feel it, we're nourished by it, and then we in turn, we can nourish others. And so that's what I wanted to say, is I'm grateful for Diane for coming on the show and reminding us there is hope, you know, and we are the light that we are seeking, you know. And Dianne, for what she said earlier, I remember, and I loved it. I absolutely love it, because I have a writing project that I use the exact same words, and I'll never forget it. Our soul was summoned. She used those words. She said, we were summoned here. That is a strong force. Heaven and earth, the universe, are all conspiring in our favor. And you have to believe that. Don't ever give up hope. Heaven will send people. They will ignite your fire. They will open your heart. And I just look forward to this journey. And I thank Dianne for everything that she's done to this point, that she and I could be here together with all of you. And thank all of you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Portia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you, girl. And, you know, all I want to say is just walk towards the light. And on that note, I just want to say thank you for being with us. Aloha. Good night. Good evening.
Aloha.
Good day.
Mahalo.
Blessings to you. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Shalom. And I just want to say have a great, great life. Until we meet again on Divine Soul Journey. This is Porsche and Dianne saying we love you and peace. Love, peace, and harmony.